And I didn't believe it was real. I thought that must be AI because it's so demeaning and it's so racist. Hi and welcome to Blossom Talk. I'm Kjersti Flaa, and here on my channel I talk about my good and bad experiences in Hollywood and working as an entertainment reporter. So today I saw there was a press release out that there is a new documentary coming out. It's actually premiering today in the UK on Channel 4. It's called He Said, She Said, Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni. It's a 90 minutes documentary, and I'm in it. I was interviewed for this documentary, I think it's 3 weeks ago maybe. They did do a shoot up here in Hollywood Hills. I had no idea it was going to come out this fast. Anyways, it's not coming out in the US until March 31st, so we're going to have to wait a couple of weeks. In the US, it's only a 60-minute long documentary, and it's called Dispute, Lively versus Baldoni. A little bit different there. I don't know what they cut out. I'm not in the trailer myself, I just heard my voice in there, but I am in the film. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. It's going to be on Max and Discovery Plus here in the US. I'll keep you posted when it's out, and maybe there'll be some reviews about it later, because it is airing today in the UK. It's called He Said, She Said. I feel it should be called She Said, He Came with the Evidence. But anyways, let's see what they made from it. I feel like it's a more balanced documentary than the other one that I was a part of that's airing on Hulu. I didn't watch it yet. It was also produced by ABC Nightline. And the way that they portrayed things were kind of pro Blake Lively, I was told. So I ended up not watching it because I was like, oh, and I don't like watching myself in these things. I just get like, oh, why did I say that? But anyways, this one should be interesting. I'm doing another shoot for a documentary later this week with an even bigger streamer. So yeah, people can't get enough of this drama. First of all, I wanted to thank you guys so much for engagement with the video I posted yesterday with me and Donna Bowling. She has been covering Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni drama as much as I have, basically. And she was really frustrated about the article that came out in Glamour magazine on Friday, where this reporter, Stephanie McNeil, published an article claiming that we are all women haters, basically, because we don't believe Blake Lively. And she's calling out mommy sleuths, saying that basically trashing everyone that's not believing the narrative that she feels everyone should believe. I've seen there's been a huge backlash on this journalist. She received a lot of criticism online. I saw that she now closed off her comment section, and she's devastated and feeling she's being bullied and now portraying herself as a victim. I find it quite interesting because she was the one who started going out criticizing women, calling us not like we are not supporting other women, and we're not feminists because we do not believe the narrative she thinks that we should believe. And then she gets upset when she gets criticism for it. I think she wasn't expecting to get so much backlash from it. And the way she's been attacking creators, saying that we are just in it to make money, while she is just getting money for writing articles for a magazine that's basically paid for by brands. I mean, Glamour magazine is not really a magazine anymore because it's not like physical anymore. It's just an online publication. But the only way that they get revenue, more or less, is from ads and from sponsored content and from branded content. And just because she doesn't earn as much of that money as she probably wished she would have, she's trashing other women for making a living online. And then she's doing it by going on our platforms or on these social media platforms to trash us for talking on these platforms. I kind of feel a bit sorry for Stephanie, actually, because she obviously didn't know what she was doing, and she didn't really think through what she was doing by criticizing all women out there that don't believe Blake Lively. And the thing is, she's saying that what she stands for and everything that her publication stands for is the truth. And what we say is not the truth. It's just hearsay, and we're just doing it to trash another woman. She has absolutely no reason to say that. She's pointing out a few things in the article, saying that creators, for example, one thing she said was like, creators are claiming that Paul Feig's wife was one of the fake fans in the audience. We're not claiming that. There is a photo of Paul Feig's wife next to Blake Lively. It is Paul Feig's wife. Things like that she's saying in that article, which is basically, it's not true. We are not claiming anything. We're saying these are the facts, and that's what creators have been doing for so long. I mean, of course, there are creators out there that are spreading misinformation and conspiracy theories, but I have to say, so are the people on the corporate media, as she calls them. Look at New York Times, what they did to me. They were spreading misinformation about me. So thinking that you're more noble because you're on that side, I've been on that side. I worked for traditional media for 20 years. I know how it works. I actually put this article that she wrote in Ground News to see where it was leaning politically. It's leaning left, meaning that she is politically biased as well. And that brings me to the sponsor of this video, which is Ground News. As a content creator and as a journalist, it's essential for me to have access to reliable sources and accurate information. Today, we're constantly tricked by algorithms and clickbait titles. That makes it so easy to fall down that rabbit hole and end up getting biased and untrustworthy information. That's why I was so excited when I discovered Ground News. It's actually a female-funded website and app, which makes me even more excited, that ensures that you always know where your information is coming from, like their political leanings, ownership details, and it compares headlines and bias ratings on every story. Okay, I'm going to use an example here that a lot of you guys maybe remember when Justin Baldoni's voice memo was leaked. If you want to follow along while I'm talking about this, you can click the QR code here, or you can go to groundnews.com/Flaa, F-L-A-A, my last name. Okay, so if you don't remember what that voice memo was about, it was about Justin Baldoni saying he was sorry to Blake Lively, and he kind of admitted that he thought that her version of the rooftop scene was better than his version, and he was just bending backwards for her. And here we see, this is the headline that E! News chose, which is saying that Justin Baldoni made comment on Blake Lively's boobs in 2 a.m. voice memo. So you can see how E! News framed the story, focusing on how it was Baldoni who was inappropriate here. And then you can compare it to New York Post, who is more right-leaning, and the way they actually reported on this. Their headline is saying, Justin Baldoni apologizes to Blake Lively in alleged voice note about it ends with us rooftop feud. I'm really sorry. That's a very different story than the one E! News wrote, just pointing it out. And then we have TMZ, where you can see here rated as mixed factuality. They go for the more clickbait angle, saying that Justin Baldoni releases 2 a.m. voice note to Blake. I am really sorry. I just wanted to point out how all these three outlets are angling this same story very differently to make you guys aware of actually where and how you're getting your information and what it means. So if you want to stay informed and not manipulated, Ground News is a game changer. Not only for Hollywood, but for politics, world news, and beyond. Be a critical thinker, that I talked about so many times here on my channel. See through sensationalism and get the full picture. Go to groundnews.com/FLAA, Flaa, and my name, to get your 40% off the Vantage package, the subscription that I use to see through biased media coverage. Okay, so I did actually put Stephanie McNeil's article in ChatGPT to ask ChatGPT what she's trying to say to us. And ChatGPT is not biased, as far as I know. And I just said, give me a non-bias, opinion about what she's trying to say here. And what ChatGPT said is that McNeil's piece raises valid concerns about online misinformation and the dangers of conspiracy-driven harassment. However, by discussing independent creators and as unqualified, or ideologically driven, she risks contradicting her own argument about women supporting women. So true. And you know what I have to say? I have to say that the hate that I've received because of my opinions about this has been really cruel. So the people out there, either some of them are bots, whatever, but the people that have sent me messages or emails trying to bring me down, or from other women here on YouTube that are like supporting Blake Lively, they've said, I mean, I've heard other women, female creators saying the same thing. I think the worst one was like when someone said to me, it makes me believe in God, the fact that I know you can't have children. Someone said that to me, and someone sent me the other day an email threatening to burn down my house and sending me an address. It wasn't the right address, but still, you know. So these are Blake Lively supporters. They're saying things like this to creators, just putting it out there. If they're thinking that they're fighting for a noble cause or for a Me Too, these are the people that are supporting her. You can also see how some of these outlets now are pushing for positive Blake Lively news. Today on Instagram, these news pops up, and it's just like, really? Is this a news article? Entertainment Tonight posted this. Blake Lively snaps a selfie with her husband and bakes with her family. That's a news story. And People Magazine. Lively and Ryan getting cozy. This is news. And according to Stephanie McNeil, these are like real investigated stories because these comes from traditional media. The thing is here as well, which someone pointed out to me, which is very interesting and so true, is that WME, the management company run by Ari and Manuel, who we know have been out there criticizing Justin Baldoni and actually basically firing him after 2 hours when Blake Lively's, the article in the New York Times came out. WME has a lot of power. And I worked in magazines and I know how it works when they do deals. You know, someone would say, hey, can you write a piece on Blake Lively? And then I'll give you access to Jay-Z, Beyonce, whatever. Bad example. But you know, that's how it works. Some of these agencies are always trying to push a talent that are not as well known yet, and they really want them to get publicity. So sometimes they would say, if you write about this person and do a little story on this, I will give you this bigger star. And I know when I do press junkets, most of the times it's one or maybe two talents that are interesting for me to interview for the publications I work for. But I'm going to have to interview every single person on the call sheet that day for that press junket. So sometimes I will have to interview 10 people, and it's only one star that I can basically use or sell to the publication I work for. So this is very normal. So who knows why Stephanie McNeil wrote that story for Glamour. But the way she's now trying desperately to look like a victim and to explain herself on TikTok and Instagram, and by doing that on social media, which is exactly what she's criticizing us for doing, it just makes her look so stupid. I'm sorry, Stephanie. I'm sure you're a great person, but you need to stop. Another thing that some of you guys pointed out to me is the fact that the New York Times posted or published this huge expose article about Blake Lively and the alleged smear campaign and the SH and Justin Baldoni and all that. And they didn't do a follow-up article, which is really rare. Because I remember when LA Times did a big expose on the Golden Globes, which I was really involved in, as you know, and I was interviewed in that article, and I was talking to the journalist a lot. And I think she probably did like 3 to 4 updates, continuations of that expose every week from when this happened, which is normal. Why wouldn't you continue reporting on something when it's such a bombshell article and you just leave it dead, which is what they did. They did do a podcast, I don't know, a month later or something, where they interviewed themselves to pat themselves on the back, like, yeah, we were right. We did it the right way. This $250 million lawsuit from Justin Baldoni is just like, yeah, we're not in the wrong here. But guess what? You are. And I think this proves so much that they actually didn't follow up on more articles around it. It was based on what they say was evidence, which we now know is not true. And it was based on the fact that they insinuated that someone like me, for example, was working with Justin Baldoni's team. And we also know that's not true. So I don't know how many lies were in that article. I just know for sure that the story about me was a lie. And that's really all I need to know to trust the story. If there is one lie in the story, I believe there's more lies in that story. And I think there are. Someone also sent me this video of Blake Lively where she's talking about her own tweets. I saw this video on Instagram not too long ago, and I didn't believe it was real. I thought that must be AI because it's so demeaning and it's so racist. But then I saw it on Twitter, and Blake Lively is actually commenting on this. So this video is when she was promoting A Simple Favor, the first one, and she's basically sitting in front of her fireplace with her legs up on a naked man, a black man, as kind of showing he's her servant or below her. And she's explaining in this video that she did it to show that, you know, there's been so much criticizing that women have their kind of head cut off in movie posters. So she wanted to show the other way around.
So this one with me sitting in front of a warm fireplace, you hear the crackle of the fire, but as you zoom out, you see that the crackle is not coming from the fire, it's coming from the drapes and the rest of the house, which I've lit on fire. But if you zoom in on the image, you actually see a naked man there as my ottoman.
When I saw that, especially considering that she had a plantation wedding with Ryan Reynolds, something that they've been criticized for so many times. And it was like outrageous. And they even said it afterwards. Ryan Reynolds has come out and said that he regret doing that. And then she does that. I mean, let me know what you think. I think it's outrageous. Anyways, you guys, thank you so much for watching. And I really appreciate all your support. And thanks again for subscribing. And if you haven't, please do and hit the notification bell so you don't miss an episode of Flawsome Talk. And I will see you in my next episode. Bye.